Like, what do you mean romance isn't canon? Of course they are. Like, literally look at these two. Oh, hi! Guess what day it is? It's Bionicle Day. I was supposed to actually create a sketch for Bionicle Day, and then I lost track of time doing taxes. So, instead, why not just a casual update vlog type of video? First, I finally got caught up on all of the lore. I spent the majority of the first half of this year just reading the Bionicle books literally from start to finish, in chronological order as well. Not within timeline order, but within release order. So, I started with, like, the Toamata, Nuva, Metru, etc., etc. You guys get the idea. I actually found these books. Okay. I found these books on Facebook Marketplace. I have actually never owned the hard copy of either of these, but it's pretty cool that they exist. I actually plan on rereading these with my optics this time. More on that later. Favorite arc, honestly, is the Metro arc. I love cities. I love urban, cool things. It feels very Blade Runner-esque as well, and Vakama is a really engaging main character. Very much vibe with some of his flaws and his character growth. Why did all those fall down? Also, check this out. I got this mask off of Etsy, shop down below. Pohatu has never really been my favorite until recently, until actually reading the books, and oh my god, he is such a cool dude. Honestly, I aspire to be as friendly as him. It's also just really cool to see a mask this, like, up close. I don't know, when I first got this, I was like, wow, this is freaking bonkers. I've actually never owned the Toamata outside Tahu over there. I still have all my toys. I didn't even have to steal them. They're literally from my childhood. You got the couples, couple 1, pairing 2, maybe pairing 3. Why is Tahu so short? Where did your legs go? I wish I had Jala, or Jaller, however you pronounce his name. Then you'd have the thruple over there. And then the mask. Also, after reading the books, I now understand why everyone ships Pohatu and Kopaka, and I am right there with you. If you guys still ship stuff, I do. I am floored at where Bionicle ended, at least G1. I haven't gotten into G2 yet, but G1 ended on such an interesting note, and it's interesting. I'm trying to be polite about it because it just felt like it got rushed, and from what I've been told, that's exactly what happened. LEGO just wanted to rush the whole thing, cut it, move on, and yet there were so many, like, different plot threads that weren't ever finished, and I'm like, oh, but, like, there's a whole new era of story that could take place now that they're on Spherous Magma. There are now multiple species that could engage with one another. How does that work? I'm actually kind of curious if you guys have any headcanons on where the story could go. Mine, I think, would be... Clearly there's gonna be some form of, like, different cultures clashing with one another. Maybe the Matoran universe learn more about, like, the great beings and, like, where they actually came from. I know there's... oh my god, what's his name? I'm not even kidding, I totally forgot his name. Valika? Is that his name, Valika? He's, like, a brown Matoran that's technically also a god that gifted the Matoran sentience. What is his name? Oh my gosh. Oh, it is Valika! Hell yeah, okay! Yeah. So I figure... I mean, that could be an interesting plot thread to see where things go. Like, how would this godlike being try to now influence where the Matoran and the Agorians go? Agorians? That's their name, right? Also, we have Takanuva, who had time, or universe traveled. You could have something interesting where there's G1 and G2 mixing, and that could form G3. Or if there is a G3, maybe make it for adults. Pull an Andor from Star Wars, but for Bionicle. Which, speaking of, there's a lot of really cool, like, fan-made art out there of Bionicle still, which is, like, really inspiring. Here's a few highlights that I would recommend. Toa Tapu Nuva has actually made a whole, like, audiobook series of the novels. It's actually how I primarily got to experience the novels. Next, I still do want to read them. Legit, while I was working, I was just listening to those audiobooks. On top of the books, there's also the archives that I'd like to dive into because I only have the first 2 arcs of the story. It was a great listen. Next is Bionicle Revised. Goodness gracious! Wow, okay. In terms of a story that's a little bit more mature, maybe more why is that still popping off? In terms of a story that feels like Bionicle given a somewhat Andor or mature treatment, Bionicle Revised is amazing. There's that one point in which I believe it's Kongu and Matau share a moment, and it got me to tear up. It was really sweet. And tragic. all at the same time. Rusty Box and Dude Tune over on Blue Sky have some pretty cool artwork. In fact, literally as of today, Bionicle Day, there's a ton of really cool Bionicle artwork out there. If you just look up 810, or you replace Bio with 810 in Bionicle Day, and then look that up, you'll see a lot of really cool stuff out there. You know, I've been thinking a lot about this too. Is Vakama, like, the main character, or was he the main character for a little bit? Because, like, I know, like, Tahu is, like, usually the main character, or at least, like, the poster boy across all of, like, the merch. But in terms of, like, the overall story, maybe, Takua or Takanuva? He's got, like, a pretty interesting arc, but I also feel like Vakama did, too. Like, especially with him, like, retelling his, like, stories to the Nuvas. And then as a Voya Nui, we don't really get to know much about him, but I don't know, I feel like that'd be a really interesting thing, especially since, like, he was literally there, him and his whole team were there for, like, the cataclysm of, spoiler alert, literally crash landing into a planet. Yeah, I don't know. I figure, where does his story go? Since I started diving back into the Bionicle universe, I thought I'd make my own OC. In fact, I even made my own mini zine based off of him. His name is Matava. Basically take Jesse Faden from Control, like the telekinesis abilities, and put it in a Bionicle. I think I want to make them somewhat like, I don't know if journalism exists in Bionicle, so I figured like some form of a universal chronicler. Less about what's happening with the Metro Nui and Matanui Island inhabitants, and more so just hopping from island to island and trying to not die, essentially. But also recording as much as they can as well. But yeah, I'll have all this zine up on the shop soon. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to develop like a fan character. I don't often get to do this, so it was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day, an amazing Bionicle Day as well, and I'll see you next year. Stay artsy. You guys like my outfit? Astro says it's silly, but it's hot outside. And I don't have a Bionicle cosplay yet.